Good morning, everybody. It's me, V. I'm stopping by to share with you what I had created for Christmas, after Christmas. And let's get started right away because it might take a little bit. And I do apologize for that. But anyway, I used a cereal box to make the book because all I used was the cover of the little golden book from Walmart, Christmas Day Cheer, and it's about a mouse family. And the paper pad, I believe, was from Michael's. And so let's get started. So after creating the box, I did put corners on it. I did have to put a little belly or a piece of ribbon to keep it shut, which I'm going to take that off. For the spine here, I had created a little hole. It's 3 signatures, and I hope I'm not too close. I used the little ornaments from Hobby Lobby. And then I just added some yarns and threads, some little fibers. So I covered it with this pretty material. And then there's the back. The paper was really pretty, and it matched the book. And so again, some more of that pretty trim. On the front right here, as you can see, I did add a whole bunch of little thingamabobs on there. We've got a snowman. We've got a little mouse. I think that's 1992. Another little mouse. Candies. Some baking items. On the side, or the top, I'm sorry, I do have some other things, lots of ribbons and stuff. It's jam-packed. So let's get started real quick. As I said, I did get this book from Walmart. Oops, come on, little box. I might need to back that up a little. So on this side, and I did just use this really fun trim to put on the edges of so many pages. Again, I use the same material on the inside. Some rickrack. These were the cut aparts up here. And what I stuck in there, oh, let me see. Let me grab these ones. Are the Advent numbers on all 3. And then I just used little stickers. Over here, I made a pocket, used a crochet doily, some little snowflakes, and some of the paper did come from like Hobby Lobby. So I made a couple of big tags. I love making big tags. I use some dies in here. I use rubber stamps. That's a cut apart. And these were like the little scattered pieces from Hobby Lobby or Walmart. I went to my local resale store, and they had a whole bunch of these, I believe these are Project Life, and they just happened to match the colors. That's just an embossed piece of paper. And this one, just a friendly little hello. I used a lot of mouse stamps. The next page, I just used some trim up on top. This was, I can't remember what that was, but I just cut the top off and used it. And so the story is intact. It's in here and in order. So I just used various papers. Another Project Life. I like this one. It was like a notepad. Had a little mouse, another notepad, and then that one lifts. Over here, I'm going to pull that out. I used a fold-a-note, and I liked it because it had the little mouse on it. Over here, this is a little card I found, and it's 2 little mice skating down the hill in a shoe. I just used that die. Over here, I just used more of the pattern paper stickers. I used a lot of stickers. And it just flips out. And there you can see the little mice hanging from the Christmas bell. And then here's that little thing with the mice coming down. I gotta hurry, this will be long. Let me just come back into frame. I think that's the only thing I had to flip out. On this side, I used this little card, and what I liked about it was the little mouse up on top. I stuck stickers and things like that. Here's some more little tags I made. The cut apart, this one. And then on the inside, I used a cut apart, a piece of paper. Uh-oh, you stuck. There we go. Another one of the little Project Life cards. Over here, I have these old, oh my goodness, coasters, vintage coasters. And this one just happened to have some M on it. So I'm calling this mouse family the Mouskowitz. And so I just put that there. Another little tag. And there's, I use that again. I may have used that too close together, but oh well. I did try to stick with the papers matching parts of the story, as well as the colors to match the story. And since this is the Advent calendar, and then of course I kept the Advent calendar there, I scanned one of my old Advent calendars, and it's blank in the back, lots of room for writing. And then I got like the index cards, and just using some of my punches, the whale tail, and then an embossed little snowflake. Stay in there. Another of the Project Life. And then I just added trim right there. On this side, I added more of the little papers. One of these, yeah. On this side, I put a belly band, but then I use this trim up on top. And what you do is you pull it out, and you can lift it up and put something on it. Hide something behind it if you want. Oops, my trim is sticking to that. Okay. And then there's part of the story. On this side, the Mouskowitz family is decorating outside. They're putting up the lights. And so I put a little sticker that said Twinkling Lights. I used some ribbon, a little sticker, some more little stickers. They're not felt, but they're like a material sequence snowflakes. And so on this page, this is stationery paper. I cut the bottom off and used it in another place. But as you can see, I did use glossy accents on the light bulb. This is a die that I just used, cut it in pink, and then did that. And then just stuck different papers in there. That's one of the to and from. A little cut apart. A little sticker or a tag. And my sister made me these little coffee cups, because you got to have hot cocoa. On this side, I just made a pocket, and I used the paper from Hobby Lobby. I meant to use this as a whole. Didn't come out right, but I used some trim up there because they're hanging a little wreath on the door. Now, this is a die cut that I got from, I don't know, I think it might have been Temu. And I got like 5 different ones from the mice unfortunately, I never got to cut the other one. I will, and then add it in here. But he's got his little Christmas cracker. You know, you used to hold on to them and pull them like that, and there'd be candy in there. And they used to make them for us when we were kids. They would save the toilet paper tubes. And then it's got the word joy. And then up here, I'm trying not to hit the camera. Another big tag. And then there's one of the mice. Now, I like to collect, or whenever I find the certain of gift bags, I like to keep them, and or the foiled wrapping paper, and I make tabs out of them. I think it looks so pretty, and I love giant tags. This is just some embossed paper, and then this is one of the a piece of the paper, and again, see, I think it just gives it character. This is part of the story, and again, because they're outside, I just added snowflakes. Here, they went out looking for a Christmas tree, and they're bringing it home. This is more stationery paper. I folded this side over, and because I wanted the trees to be seen. On this side, I used a fold-a-note with a little mouse in there. I think he's so cute. And then another cut apart with the mouse. Then there's two of the little Project Life cards. And then I did make a tag. On the other side, I just stuck a paper clip with a piece of ribbon. I used more of the that paper. Here's a different little mouse. And this one is Not a Creature Was Stirring. I used some of them several times, so. And then I made a floating pocket, and I stuck little tags in it. So it's got like this one, an old to and from tag. Then I cut these little tags, stuck them in there. And then another one of the little cups from my sister. Over here, I did use some washi tape on some areas. I used my punch. I stuck a little embossed tree, and here they are decorating the lights. And each page kind of, they're putting lights on the tree. So again, there's the pattern paper. On this side, the Mouskowitz family is taking their Christmas photo and they're going to go mail it out. And so, let me grab my tweezers. Oh, Lord, please don't let me hit this. Inside of here, I just made a little cluster of stuff. But I wanted them to be able to send out their little letters or their Christmas cards. And I want to come back and stamp either something on there. So both of these have a little letter in them. Well, and so they shut down. And then on this side, there is another one of the mouse dies. He's all bundled up. So because they're taking a photo, I wanted to put Polaroid thing over here. And the tags do pull out. And I just used dies and a sticker. Oh, I knew I was going to do that. So I just made a tag. And you can stick one behind the photo. And then you can put one on the inside of the Polaroid. The next page, because they were taking a picture, their Christmas picture, and taking it to the post office, I just put this here. Now these lift, And I can put a photo back there when I'm ready with repositionable tape. And I just use some trim. Here they're hanging up their stockings for Santa to come and visit. And so over here I used some stocking paper stationery to write letters. I just used some of the pattern paper. I tried to make all the trims. And this was just a stocking die that I had. And then this is a card and a pull apart. And then some washi tape in a part of it. Not a creature was stirring, and there's the little mouse. On this side, because she is Miss Mousekowitz, is stitching some stockings. I decided to put a stocking on this page. And of course, all stockings have to have candy canes in it. So there's a little cut apart. And then for this, if you lift it off like that, you can write a small message. I just put a little pull apart and the thing, and then I use some little beads. And so that goes in there. Again, using my punch on this side, because it's cold, it's outside. They have taken hot cocoa right there to the carolers. I put some trim there. Here's a little cocoa cup that I took off of a little bag that I will show you back there. This little pink part right here was a gift bag, and I used half of it. I deconstructed the gift bag, and so I just glued that on there, made a pocket out of it, put a little cluster up there. There's that little mouse again. And then I made a little pocket with a belly band. And just really quick and cute. Again, another one of the little coffee cups from my sister. Adding more trim. Here I did an embossed belly band from the paper. There's another one of them. And I know the back of this don't look too pretty, but it's okay. It's mine. It was cute, but then I tried to make it into a hidden belly band, and I didn't come back and put the paper, so I'm not going to show the paper. But it does shake. I put thread around because it kept opening. And this is another vintage coaster. See, the back don't look. But I'm going to come back and put some paper there. And then when I put the book together, I don't know what happened, but, and I did have little charms down here, they kept getting tangled. It was frustrating me. So I cut them off. I don't know. I thought 2 would be great, but I did not realize the gap in between. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's a big gap. So I took small pieces of paper, and as you can see, they're 2 different lengths, but it's okay. It still works. So I ended up adding a third little thing. I used several little pieces in here to make the tabs. So some vellum, some paper. It's got little cut aparts. This one, because there's a tree, I added a tree. This is another little pocket, and I had these from a long time ago from some paper. So I just added them in there. Oops, I just pushed that all the way down. And I just stuck a whole bunch of gifts in there. And it says no peeking up there. Then I used the well tail with the snowman face on it. And then here, stop and smell the peppermint. Peppermint wishes. At Christmas time, I always have peppermints. In fact, I still have a couple of candy canes. And they last. And I buy extras just to keep them going. Paper from Hobby Lobby. Cut apart. More of the cut aparts. Come on. And then paper, because there's lights, I put a light bulb over here on the back. I just did a little side pocket. Oh, there's that little mouse again. On this side, I cut the paper. I had a slice of the paper. I folded it in half. I cut it real quick, and I cut it at an angle, and that's how it came out. And then these were just some tags, and these do have a belly band, more scatter, and I just tuck them in there. More paper. This does have several little sheets that you can peel off and stick. It's a sticky note. I put a little piece of candy over here. There's the little mouse, an embossed tree. And then I just cut out candy from the paper. Not a creature was stirring right here. This was actually, if I'm correct, my sister said this was the little band they put on you when you go to special events. And they had gone to a Christmas one. And so, sadly, I lost my twin sister in November 1st. So, that was my sister's. So, that's special. Again, another well tell. Here I used a sticker that said twinkle. To go with the lights, you know, they twinkle in the tree, or the ornaments. Over here, I just made a belly band, or a little band right there. And this is what I like to do with my things. These are the window clings. And so what I do is I cut around them, and then right before, and like this too, I added on top of it. And then I added all of that sparkle and sprinkle in there. I added a little snowflake. And then I laminate them. So these are just a bookmarker. And then after laminating them, I add a little eyelet and some charms. And so that fits in there. And then these are just part of the cut-aparts. I added them in there. And then the coffee is another cut-apart, but I made it into a pocket. And so that goes there. And then on this side, another pocket. There's the little mouse. These ones don't have nothing, and they're just cut-aparts and a part of the paper. Over here, this little piece right there, that little line, that's actually where that coffee cup of the Santa went on. And it was a card, but I didn't like the card, so I took it apart. And have a warm and cozy holiday. And so these are just the cut-aparts. Over here, here's more of the Project Life. And I just noticed I put that upside down. Oops, I'll have to fix it. And I just made a belly band from the paper and stuck that, a little light bulb again. The lights over here is a sticker. And then again, these little things here do pop off. You can pop it off and put a photo back there. Well, it did come off easier. And so it is removable. And then the paper. And then this is a part of that pocket where the Santa was sitting. And it's the bottom of the gift bag. And all I did was tie it up. I put two of the things in there. And it says not a creature was stirring. And a little mouse. And it just makes a hidden pocket. Over here, I just tuck this in there. And then over here, I just used the other part of the light bulb paper, which this side I noticed I didn't put the glossy accent, so I need to come back. I put some stickers on top. Now, I tend to put powder on the back of stickers when I'm not going to use all of the sticker. So the back part, only this part's sticky. And I put the little thing Mary there, and then the piece of vellum. And then this side, I just made a hidden little pocket area. I thought this was so pretty, and it kind of matched the paper. And so it's a pretty little poem. And so if you guys want to pause it, screenshot it, read it, or pause it and read it. There you go. That's what you say. Not screenshot it. You don't want to screenshot it. And so I put a sticker here. And then behind the sticker, I just have some more of the Project Life, more cut aparts. This I have had for, oh my gosh, I can't remember how long. It's like one of them old pull aparts. And then again here, you can take it off and put a photo back there, you know. And then I just added some little hard embellishments. Over here, there's the little mouse. So cute. A little pink thing. On this side, I'm going to move this real quick. Move this. I made a belly band and then another belly band. And you just stick the little things in there. I made a large cut apart. And here, you've got the little mice hanging on to a Christmas bell. And it goes behind that one. This one has two of the little tag and cut aparts. And then that was from the paper. And if you open this up, there is a, and watch me struggle to get it out. I took this from my grandkids because it had a little mouse on it. It was cute. Sorry if I just hit that. And then I just stuck that back in there. Over here, I just made a pocket with some tree paper, Hobby Lobby, and out of my scrap, another large tag because I really like these tags. And here he is bouncing around. I like using large tags. And then another of the Project Life, and this is are they called house mouse? It's something like that. Anyway, on the back I put Not a Creature Was Stirring. They're reading The Night Before Christmas. So I just left it as a stamp image. Again, another piece of a different tab die. And I cut out the snowman. Over here, remember back there, they were bringing out hot cocoa to the carolers. There's the carolers. And so what I did on this side, I had messed up and, oops, which way does that go? Like that. I had deconstructed this book and sent one of these pages to my sister and one to my friend Alice because we had all three made the book. And I was supposed to use this pink paper as a whole paper and I messed up, but it's okay. I ended up constructing a pocket out of it. And there's the music sheet book that I had. And there is a pocket there. Yeah, right behind there. And then there they are. I used the trim because they're outside in the cold. I used a piece of the paper right there. And they are at the grocery store shopping for ingredients to bake. Over here, I used a little piece of the paper that was left over. And I put it there to make a pocket. Here is some recipe cards. There's the mouse again. I just took a piece of pink paper and cut out the word baked with love. These are the old vintage to and from. And because they had baking stuff, I put them on there. A little trim. Over here, hanging from the top, is the pink cookie cutter and the measuring spoons. On this side, I wanted to mimic the dough. This die, I think, is supposed to be a wolf den. But I cut it out. Then I used a different die and I cut out gingerbread. And then this is also another die. I think My Creative Time. And then I just stamped on there Baked with Love. And over here, I found this recipe booklet. And it was small. And it just so happened to have a mouse with cookies on it. Now, I stamped that one. But it's Christmas cutout cookies. And then I just, where it was bound right there, I just ran ribbon through it. So there's that. Two of the cut aparts. Or, no, Project Life. I'm sorry. And this is a Diana Markham stamp. I stamped it. And cut it out and stuck it on there. Then I stamped this on a little tag. And I cut out the candies. And then another one of the little coffee cups for my sister. And then a little gingerbread. So there they are, the Mouskowitz baking Christmas cookies. On this side, they're wrapping up gifts. And here's another one of the dies that I wanted to mimic what they were doing. And there he is carrying the present. Here's another one of them little things that you can peel off and put a photo. I put some trim on there. And as you can see, they're wrapping the gifts. And so I wanted gifts to mimic this. And on here, I cut out. And it says some gifts are big, others are small. But the ones that come from the heart are the best gifts of all. And so you just stick it back there. And it makes a gift. Same thing here. And you just stick it. Come on. There we go. And the same thing here. And there's that little mouse again. And so they're just hidden. I don't think I did that one right. There we go. And then, hey, Santa. So on this side, they're wondering what's hidden inside the gifts. So I did mimic a Christmas tree. I had seen somebody, I think on Pinterest or maybe Instagram, and they had created a tree. Well, I just did my version of it. I did a strip, and then on that strip, I cut a bunch of strips from different papers of that. And I just glued them going from large to small. I added a foam stamp, bunch of stickers, Jolies, and Hobby Lobby bows and stuff. And then there's the little mouse, the whale tail, a piece of paper, the bouncing mouse, or the mouse that's all over the place. And I just made a hidden or a tuck spot behind it. On this side, the hours are ticking before Santa comes. Here's another one of the cut-aparts. I just made a pocket out of that's what it was called. The paper pad was called Christmas Noel. And this was what was on top of the hard cardstock or cardboard of the paper pad. And I just cut it out and used it in there. This is another one of the mouse dies. The Mr. Mouskowitz is pretending to be Santa, and I put it on there. On this story, or part of the story, they have put out the milk and cookies and a note for Santa. And this is pattern, or not pattern, stationery paper. And of course, it's Santa eating his cookie, and there's his cup of milk. And this is some ribbon, and it says Christmas cookies for Santa. On this side, the mommies have put them to bed, and so they have left their notes. They have written their notes, and it's a postcard. I made a little tuck spot, and then I put a couple of these little notes. I love that little mouse. And then here's where they let Santa know whether they've been good or bad. And again, using that holographic paper, and I stamped a thing there. And then they've come down for Christmas. Santa has just flown off. And again, this is stationery paper. I cut it down on the side so that I would just get Santa. And I cut down part, because this was the bottom part. I turned it into a pocket of the houses, and Santa was flying over the houses. And so on here, there is a Christmas card exchange. And I just put a little mouse on it. Here's a little sticker. Not a creature was stirring. Not a sticker, a tag. I'm sorry. And then here's another one. And then another one. And that's the to and from. Over here, I used some of the trim. This was just what was left from that piece of vellum. I just thought it was pretty. There it is, Christmas Day, Christmas morning. They've opened up their gifts. I'm going to just stick that back there. And then that little part of the story over here, this little piece is from that pink gift bag. And if you see the little holes there, I don't know if you can, but I just turned it upside down. I cut the top off. I kept part of the side. I glued it because it was folded over, and I've made a pocket out of it. Then another cut apart, and there's the little mice hanging from the bell again, using my whale tail. This is just an embossed piece of paper. Another part of the cut, or that's actually a cut from the tree back here, the paper. And then this was also from my resale store. Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. And then this is the last page, and all I did was make a little strip from the paper. This is a part of the cut apart. And this, I cut this little snowman out from the paper. And then I just made a little tag from some of the paper. And there's another little mouse, and that goes in there. And this is the back cover of the book. And this paper right here, this part of the pocket, actually was the bottom part of that paper. I made, used that, and there are all of the mice. This is a card of a little mouse getting a berry, and I put the little mouse there, and pull apart, and then I just stuck some stickers on there, and or cut apart, I'm sorry. And that is the back of the book. And then again, I put a little pink snowman. His nose fell off. I don't know where I put the nose. But there is my Christmas book. I'm sorry I had to give you something to lean the book on. So I hope that you all enjoyed my book. And let me know what you think. And we'll talk with you all later. Bye.